in Berlin for this? I watched it on television. We were in Europe, actually, on a vacation, and it just, I don't care what political party you're in the United States, the notion that this guy, in this historic place, with 200,000 people, it just sent shivers up or down your spine. He too, you might have noticed, won the Nobel Peace Prize last year. He too was criticized. Too young, what's he done? Some good ideas about nuclear proliferation and engagement. But come on. Well, you can imagine what my reaction to that is. He's a hero I'm going to stop on for a minute, because I think it's very important to spend a minute, because this is the United States of America today, June 17th, 2010. So it's very important for me to take an extra minute before I throw it open to questions for why he's on my list and what he embodies about America. Because I'm a fly speck. He's the boss. And again, he, like me, like any of us, is not perfect. So I wrote down why. First of all, engagement. Woody Allen's got this great phrase, 80% of life is showing up. I think at least 50% of diplomacy is engaging. It's not form versus substance, by the way. It matters. It mattered in the Marshall Plan, getting Germany and France at the same table. It mattered a German chancellor going to Warsaw. It matters, as painful as it might be, for the United States of America when it sits down with Iran. More on them later. It matters. And he gets that. He also gets that we can't do everything alone. No country can and no individual can. We need help. And allies have to stick together. And we have no better ally than Germany. Period, full stop. Indisputably the case for 65 years. Secondly, one of the core hallmarks of the United States today is that we derive strength from our diversity. Diversity makes us better. It is diversity of all kinds. Racial, religious, ethnic, economic, geographical, gender, heterosexuals, homosexuals. We are stronger. There used to be a phrase that we were a melting pot. And Reverend Jesse Jackson, I thought this was a great addendum to that. He said, you know what, we're not really a melting pot. We're more like a minestrone soup. We have all sorts of different vegetables and other stuff in there. It really comes together. It works. But the individual vegetables never lose their uniqueness or their identity. So the Irish Americans, of which I'm one, have this sort of identity. The African American community, the Latino community, the gay and lesbian community, whatever it might be, but we all, when we come together in the soup, we're best when that soup has got everything in it. That's just the way we are. Look at our sports teams. And by the way, that soup, that notion, I lived in Germany in the 90s. I'm back here now. That's becoming the picture of Germany as well, which I think is fantastic for Germany. And I literally mean this. As good as Germany played Sunday night, and they were incredible, they're clearly right now the #1 team in this cup. It might be because Australia stinks. I can't, we won't know for a while. But the picture of cacao, oatmeal, and lamb literally kissing each other ought to be the national stamp for Germany. I think it's fantastic. So this guy, his personal biography is from where we draw strength. Thirdly, this is particularly important. I wouldn't have said this if we met 13 years ago. He's a great dad. He cares about his family. He cares about private time. And boy, can you imagine how hard it is for him to get private time? The only good news is he lives upstairs over the shop. So it's true. When he's home, he goes up and has dinner with his wife and 2 kids every night. He can't take them to school anymore because his motorcade is 40 cars. 40. including several of them with guys hanging out the side with automatic weapons. It's not exactly the picture you want in a schoolyard. But he's a great dad. He cares about his family, private, separates the work from his family. It's a role model, particularly given how busy this guy is. He is, and boy, the world is complicated. He is, and maybe this is the most substantive reason he's my hero, he's on the right side of history. And there are a long list of Herausforderungen right now, and we work together with Germany on almost every one of them. Afghanistan, as painful as it is, Iran, Middle East peace, a nuclear weapon-free world, climate, global economy, financial market reform, energy security, counterterrorism. The list is long, and almost every one of them is complicated. And some of them are very complicated. If you were to read 2 speeches by Barack Obama, may I suggest the 2 you should read? The first one is a candidate, the second is president. The one as candidate is the one he gave in March of 2008 about race in America and race, what it has meant to him in his life. The second is his acceptance speech for the Nobel Peace Prize. The first one is deeply personal and very revealing. Took a lot of courage, he wrote it himself. The second one talks and tries to explain the paradox of a man accepting a prize for peace who's just ordered 30,000 troops more to go to Afghanistan. It's explaining a very hard paradox. It is very well done. I won't go through all these issues with you because, and I'm happy to take questions on any one of them. Some of them you may say, well, I don't see it that way, which you're welcome to have that opinion. But I believe firmly across a whole range of issues, and I've not always been able to say that about the United States. We've had our share of mistakes. And he's not perfect, but we're on the right side of history. I believe that.